Welcome to this channel. This channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So yesterday I shared the YouTube that training Kung Fu, we must use scientific tracking. Only that way we know what we are training. We know whether we do it properly or not. Only that way we will get result and we can train effectively and efficiently. Now, Chinese Kung Fu, like Wing Chun, is in serious problem for past 100 years because there is no scientific tracking there. It is all this move. Like for example, you say, "Oh, this is Bong Sao." This Bong Sao technique is from Wing Chun. So everybody learn these techniques. Well, what is this techniques? How do you know that this technique is properly? If you don't have the scientific tracking, you don't know the zone you are training. How do you know what is this techniques do? This Bong Sao techniques do? Is that training your fitness or training for fighting? Not to mention, about 2 weeks ago, I shared the two tools, namely the squat and the twerking, so that everybody can use that as a reference to check themselves when they train the 修炼跑 sets. Now, many friends who have tried out these two tools told me this. You can see their message to me is always like, "Oh, Hendrik, when I do the twerking, I found out I stopped breathing. Or when I do the twerking, I found out my body is broken apart. Or when I do this twerking, I cannot breathe and my body is broken apart." So, how are you supposed to do a bong? A bong is about twerking your entire body. Okay? And of course, you need to breathe. One other thing which is missing for past 160 years is what? Is your intra-abdominal pressure handling, or the core handling, or the core integrate with your erect spinal muscle handling. If you don't have that handling, even if you have, say, the torque, I can have a fluent handling of my physical body and I can breathe, you still will not be able to drive into your opponent. Thus, it is still useless. Okay? A proper Bong Sao is you have all those body mechanics which can torque the entire thing go one piece with the breathing deep, and then with the intra-abdominal pressure where you're handling the core and your back muscle and you drive into the opponent. If you don't have that, there's nothing you can do with the opponent. If you don't have the intra-abdominal pressure and this core handling stuff, you can. It's just physics. It's just human physiology. So you see how far it is from just a techniques, like in a movie, and a techniques you be able to do the entire body in one piece twerking, and you be able to breathe, and then you have that intra-abdominal pressure handling where you can brace the entire body and you drive into the opponent. Today you see in the entire world is just techniques. This techniques. Or he punched me this way, I gotta do this techniques. Or hai bong sao. Are you serious? Do you know what is going on? It is not like in a movie. You punch me this way, I block it with my bong sao. No. He get into you right away. You talk in, you drive the entire thing in. Then this is record in the general Chi Chi Guang's momentum handling in the drawing. I have shown you guys, and it's my book Wing Chun Kung Fu 1560. So you lost everything. You only got the show business. Bong sao. Oh, I do it this way. I do it this way. When am I, or when all of us going to wake up? So in one way, if you don't track it scientifically, you know it is nonsense. Disregard how you say, well, this is from Grandmaster Hendrik, or this is from whatever lineage, or this is the most authentic, or this have this chi power, whatever power. It is void there. It never exists. It is vacuum. On the other hand, if you don't have that, the entire body one piece up, you be able to breathe, you be able to handle your intra-abdominal pressure with your core and your back muscle to drive in. What do you got? You got nothing but just show business, making posture. And people sometimes say, well, the weight has to be in the back. So when you punch a waist in the weight in the back, how the hell are you gonna do that to handle your intra-abdominal pressure? Look at the MMA player. Look at the weightlifter. Can they put their weight behind and then lifting their anus, straighten their spine to handle that core so that they can drive things in? It is absolutely nonsense, okay? This is year 2023. When are all of us going to wake up? You have something good 160 years ago, and now today it turned into junk, garbage. And everybody have their idea and opinion and philosophy and concept. If you really have all this concept for past 100 years, why don't you just present as what I share with you in a really simple way? Can your body talk together? One piece. Can you breathe? Do you have the intra-abdominal pressure to drive in? So simple. And that is the real internal. You don't see it. That is the power behind that move or that techniques. So this is how serious it is. For me to whine too much is no good. People need to know how to think. I am not here to put down any grandmaster, but I'm pointing it out. If you don't change this, you don't have a martial arts. You are might as well train people, train movie actor, okay, to to play in the Wing Chun movie. Not real because it never works. It is just like a smartphone where there is no content inside there, but there's just a box, the case. So this is a straight talk to you today. Whoever want to listen, it is time for all us to wake up. I am just one of you. And we simply cannot see this thing go deteriorate and then everybody pat everybody's back, everybody's grandmaster. What grandmaster? You don't even know how to handle your body, your breathing, your intra-abdominal pressure to drive in. You don't even know scientifically what do you do. So this is what I like to share with you. Think about it, okay? Don't get into the politics for past 50, 60 years. Those things doesn't solve anything. And don't get into this Chinese philosophy qi, as what I said. For past 100 years, did anybody tell you that in Wing Chun, if you don't develop your intra-abdominal pressure, you cannot drive in? If you cannot drive in, forget about it. You look at the MMA player, you look at the grapples, don't everybody need to drive in? Because it is a martial arts.